Hi dear students, welcome back to computer science class. We have completed an overview of SQL and MySQL, advantages of SQL as well as features of SQL in our previous class. Now it's time to look at another important topic, classification of SQL statements. You know what actually SQL is? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's a standard computer programming language used to manipulate the database or used to interact with the database. Right? Yes. And we can classify SQL statements mainly into four: DDL, data definition language; DML, data manipulation language; DCL, data control language; TCL, transaction control language. And DCL and TCL is not in our syllabus, so we don't have to look at that. We mainly focus on DML and DDL and DML. Okay. So let's start with classification of SQL statements. And you know what actually SQL is? SQL is a standard programming language used to interact with the database, used to manipulate the database, right? Yes, used to develop backend of a software. Yes, so it's used to interact with the database, and through SQL or SQL commands we give instructions to the database or from database manipulation, right? Yes, and SQL can be classified into data definition language DDL, data manipulation language DML, data control language DCL, and transaction control language TCL. And we know data control language and data transaction control language, it's beyond our syllabus, okay, not in our syllabus, so we just leave it for the time being, and we look at only data definition language and data manipulation language. And we can say data definition language DDL and data manipulation language DML, it's a subset of what SQL commands. Okay, yes, so let's look at data definition language. And simply we can say what data definition, from the term itself we can define, right? Data definition, defining the data, or we can say defining the structure or defining the structure of the database, right? Yes, so DDL commands associate with the structure or definition of database object. Here we consider database object is our table, right? Yes, so tables to be created or deleted using DDL commands, we can create tables or we can delete tables, right? Yes, then it defines keys, links and constraints. Actually keys, links and constraints are related to what? The structure of the data, right? The definition of the data. You know what keys are, right? Yes, the link means linking tables or relations using keys. Then constraints are the means by which we can prevent invalid data entry, right? Yes. Then create, manipulate, alter and delete tables. We can create tables, we can manipulate table, okay? Then we can alter table, we can delete table. Using data definition language we can perform all these operations, and we know all operations like create, alter and drop, card, CAD, okay? In short we can say what? Card, create, alter and drop are the DDL commands, and all these commands are associated with or related to what? The structure or definition of a table, right? Create is used to create a table, alter is used to modify a table, and what? Drop is used to remove a table, the entire structure, okay? Yes, so here it is SQL into two, DDL and DML. And DDL we have three commands: create, alter and drop, card, CAD, okay? Create, alter and drop are the DDL commands. And in DML we have four commands: select, insert, update and delete. Select, insert, update and delete. And we know DML commands are associated with the data, not with the structure, okay? Only with the data. Like select is used to retrieve the data, insert is used to insert the data, update is used to update the data, and delete is used to delete the data. All are related to all are connected with the data, okay, not with the structure, okay? There is no connection with the structure. And DML or DDL commands are the commands or the set of commands used to what? Associate or which are associated with the structure or definition of the data. Oh, we get it? Yeah, okay. So these are the DDL commands: create, alter and drop, and DML commands are select, insert, update and delete, okay? Then let's look at the application, how to use some examples, okay, of DDL commands. We know create is a DDL command, okay? So create database, it's an example. We know just before manipulating the data we have to store the data somewhere, and we are using table, okay? So we have to create the table, and for creating table we are using DDL command create. And just before creating a table we must have a database, right? So tables are stored in the database. So the first step is to create a database. Just before storing data we have to create a table. Just before creating a table, we have to create a database. So the first step is to create a database, okay? And database is created using the command create database. We know create belongs to DDL command, okay? Another one, use command. Actually, it is used to select and open the existing database, okay? Using the existing database, that's what use is. So use is another command, use, okay? For example, suppose we have an existing database student, we will apply what? How to create? Yeah, create database DB, create database student. And how to use it? We know it's already created, okay? How to use it? Use student, that's it, okay? Yes, so use is a command used to select and open an existing table or a database, okay? Not a table, database, okay? Then create table used for creating a table, alter table used to modify a table, and by applying alter is used to modify the structure of a table. How can we modify the structure of a table? Suppose at present in student we have roll number, name and marks as the columns or as the attributes, okay? Suppose we are going to add one more column. We wish to add one more column, that is grade. So how to add one more column? Using alter command, okay? So just after adding grade, we will have 4 columns in the table student, right? Roll number, name, marks and grade, right? Suppose we do not want grade anymore. So at the time we have to delete it, right? Delete that column. So at the time also we are using alter table, okay? Meaning we can add a new column or we can remove an existing column using alter table command. And what is the use of drop? Drop is used to remove the entire table along with the data, okay? The entire table will be removed from the database along with the data. And what is the difference between alter and drop? Alter is used to what? Modify or add or delete an existing column, and drop is used to remove the entire table. That's a difference, okay? Hope you get it. Yeah, so these are some of the examples: create database, use command, then create table, alter table and drop table, okay? So this is all about DDL commands, data definition language commands. And data definition language commands are create, alter and drop, and all these commands are associated with the structure or definition of a table or a database object or any database object, whatever it is, okay? Yeah, so it defines a database structure and its related operations. DDL commands define the database structure and its operations, okay? Yes. Now let's move on to data manipulation language, DML. We know DML commands are associated with data, okay? Not with the structure anymore, okay? Yeah, so it accesses or manipulates the data, and these are the operations which retrieve data from the database or table, right? Which is used to what? DML commands are used to retrieve data from the database, and the command is specifically we can say what? Select. That's a command used to retrieve data from a table or from a database, okay? Then insert data into a table using insert command, insert into command. We can insert that what? Data into the table in the form of what? Record or row, right? Yes. Then delete data from the table, which what? DML command delete is used to delete. Here it is, okay? Delete is used to delete data from a table. We know we are inserting data in the form of a row. We are deleting data as a row, right? We are deleting row or record, okay? Yes. Then we can delete the column as well, okay? Yeah. And then update data among records or rows. We can update. Let's go in detail. Retrieve data from a database. What is that? Retrieve data from a database. And the command is, we know, select. It's used to extract information from a database or from a table, and there may be condition or not. For example, okay, we have a table student with 4 columns, okay, 3 columns, roll number, name and marks, okay? Then we are going to select the entire table, meaning we want to get the details of all the students. The details of all the students means the details of all the students, roll number, name and marks, okay? At the time we don't have to give any condition, right? So at the time we are using select command. Suppose we are what? Fetching. We are retrieving, we want to retrieve information or data of students having who have scored more than 95. At the time we have to apply condition, right? We must have a condition, that is marks greater than or equal to 95, right? Yes. So select is used to retrieve data from a table or from a database, okay? We know table exists in the database, okay? So that is what select is, used to extract information based on a condition or not. We can have condition or without any condition, okay? Yes. Then insert into. What is insert into? Insert into is a command used to insert data records into a table, okay? Insert rows into a table. We know data is stored in the form of rows. So insert into command is used to insert new data or new record, okay? Yes. Then update, used to modify the data. For example, let's look at insert into example. Suppose you want to insert 1 Arun 100, At that time we are using insert into command. Okay, insert into student values 1 Arun 100. Okay, yes, Arun must be in quotes. Yeah, you know it. Then update, we can have more explanation in the implementation part. Okay, yeah. So okay, the third one is update. Update is used to update or to modify. Okay, used to modify the data. For example, suppose Arun got 95. Okay, after rechecking he has got his marks as modified to 97 or 98. Okay, 98. Yeah, how to modify? Using update command. Okay, updating from 95 to 98. Okay, actually we are modifying the data. Okay, yes. So at the time we are using update. Then finally delete, is used to delete a row or delete a record. For example, we want to delete the records of those students who have failed in the exam, who have scored less than 35, right? At the time we can apply delete. It delete the what entire record, okay, rows. Yes. So these are the what DML commands. We know DML commands are associated with the data. Okay, not with the structure, only with the data. We know select is used to retrieve the data, insert is used to insert into what the record as data or row. Okay, and update is used to update the data. Then delete is used to delete the data. Now let's look at the difference between update and alter. You know what it is? Alter and update. Alter is a DDL command and update is a DML command. Okay, that's the first difference. Second difference, alter is used to add a new column or remove an existing column, and it is what affected to the structure or definition of the database object or table. Okay, but update is simply used to what update the data. Okay, it has no connection with the what the definition or the structure. Okay, it's just used to delete what update or modify the data. Okay, alter is used to alter the structure or modify the structure of the table just by adding a new column or removing an existing column, but update is used to update the data. Okay, from 95 to 98. Yeah. Then delete and drop. Is there any difference? Yes, drop is a DML command and delete is a DDL command. That's the first difference as we have seen in the case of update and alter. Okay, then drop is used to remove the entire structure of the table from the database. Okay, there won't be data existing anymore. That means at the time of removing the table, it removes both the structure as well as the data. Okay, the structure as well as the data will be removed from the database, but delete is used to delete simply the data. Okay, data or record or rows. Okay, yes, that's the difference between drop and delete. Yes. Okay, then let's look at the differences between DML and DDL commands. DDL commands and DML commands. The first difference is DDL stands for data definition language and DML stands for data manipulation language. Okay, then task related to data definition or structure of the database, meaning task related to data definition language is with the structure or definition of the data, but DML commands manipulation of the data, just to the data. Okay, yes. Then the commands are create, alter and drop, CAD, CAD, and DML commands UIDs, update, insert, delete and select, UID. You know what the UID is? Okay, UIDs, update, insert, delete and select. Finally, there is no classification for DDL, but in DML we have classification. DML commands can be classified into two: procedural DML and non-procedural DML. You know what actually procedural is? We have to specify what data to be retrieved or what data to be or what to do. Okay, and how to do. But in non-procedural, we have to specify only what to do. Okay, we don't have to specify how to do because it will be already defined. Procedural means we have to show the procedure, we have to code the procedure, we have to specify the procedure. But in non-procedural, we don't have to look at the procedure, we have to look at only what to get. Okay, other than how to get. Hope you get it. In non-procedural language, actually all these are UIDs, update, insert, delete and select, all are non-procedural DML commands because these commands, update, insert, delete and select, all are already defined. Okay, what to do with these commands are already defined. We don't have to show it, we don't have to code it because it's already defined. Okay, right? Yeah. So that's what non-procedural, all what DML commands we have discussed so far are what non-procedural DML. Okay, then procedural means at the time we have to show the procedure as well. We have to code what to do with that, right? Is other than what to get. Okay, procedural means both how to get and what to get, and non-procedural means only what to get. Okay, so this is all about, these are the differences. Okay, so this is all about the classification of SQL statements. Let's have a quick revision. Okay, yeah. So SQL commands, SQL stands for structured query language. It's a standard programming language used to interact with the database. Okay, used to code the database or used to instruct the database what to do with. Okay, yes. Then SQL into 4: data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, and transaction control language, and data control language DCL and transaction control language TCL are beyond our syllabus, so we are not looking at that. Okay, we do specifically looking at data definition language and data manipulation language, DDL and DML. So the first one is data definition language. It gives tables to be created or deleted. Okay, then defines keys, links and constraints, create, manipulate, order and draw or delete table. And SQL into 2, DDL and DML. We have 3 DDL commands: card, create, alter and drop, and DML, update, insert, delete and select, UIDs. Okay, DDL, card, and DML, UIDs. Hope you get it. Yeah. Then examples for DDL, applying DDL commands. For creating a database, we use create database. For using means selecting and opening an existing database, we use what? Use command. Use. Okay, you know how to apply use, right? Use student, that's it. Okay, then create table, alter table, drop table. Create table is used to create the structure of a table. Okay, how many columns should be there? Okay, the data types of column, all this kind of stuff. Then alter is used to add a new column or removing an existing column, and dropping the entire structure along with the data. So all these commands are which define the database structure and its related operations. And data manipulation, DML, access or manipulate data, retrieve data from the table or database, insert data into the table, delete data from the table, and update data among rows or records. Okay, then it's used for query processing and manipulation of data. It's used to query processing, and these commands, UIDs commands, are connected with, related to the data, not with the structure. Okay, yes. Then select is used to extract information. Insert into used to insert, update, modify the data, delete the data. And you know the difference between alter and update, right? Alter is used to alter the structure of the database or the table, but update is used just to update the data. And delete and drop is used to remove the entire structure along with the data, but delete is used to delete only the data, okay, or row, right? Yes. Then differences between DML and DDL. DDL, data definition language, DML, data manipulation language, and DDL tasks are related to the structure, database or data's definition or structure of the database, but the other one, DML, is purely related to the data manipulation. Okay, then create, alter and drop are the commands. Card and DML, UIDs, update, insert, delete and select. Then no further classification for DDL, but we have further classification for DML, procedural, non-procedural. In procedural, we have to specify what to get and how to get. You have to code how to get it, right? Yes, but in non-procedural, we don't have to look at how to. We look at only what to get. So all the commands we have discussed so far in DML are non-procedural. Okay, so this is something very important for you. Okay, in our coming classes we will implement the concepts. Okay, we will implement all these DDL and DML commands. Okay, through coding, SQL coding. Yes. So hope you get it, right? Just go through all these topics in detail. Okay, so this is all for the time being. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. See you in the coming video.